Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful game of StarCraft. Today we're gonna be facing a Terran player, a Diamond Terran player, on our way to Master 3. Now, as you can see, my opponent isn't being very polite here, but that's to be expected. I am a Protoss after all, and we experience various amounts of discrimination on the ladder, and that's okay. That's really okay, because my Protoss colleagues do all sorts of shenanigans that absolutely everyone else hates, and I'm gonna have to bear the brunt of my people. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling to position my gateway at the beginning of the game. This is one of the new maps, so I'm not used to it. I don't know exactly how to position my buildings yet, and these maps feel slightly different from the other maps we've played on. They feel kind of... I feel like there's a distinct difference between them and the previous map pool selection thingy, whatever the previous maps we played on. So I'm gonna have to adapt to the new slash novel maps. Now, as you can see, I'm hiding my probe behind the mineral line, as I usually do, to make sure my opponent isn't specifically motivated to block my expansion site with an NG bay, or to just stand there with a superior SCV. I have no idea why probes are so weak. As you may know, drones are the strongest kind of worker, then you have the SCV, and the probe is literally the weakest kind, even though Protoss units supposedly have shields and superior technology. Probes are just the weakest kind of worker, which is not particularly good for Protoss players, but everyone else seems to love it. But we can, well, make pylons and cannons and batteries, so that's good with our probes. I mean, anyways, you can see my opponent is being a bit of an asshole. And I'm like, here, I'm doing a normal build. You check it out. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. Of course, I'm gonna be planting a Stargate in a minute, a very cheesy Stargate, but which is gonna produce an Oracle right after it finishes up. But for now, at least, I'm doing everything in the most vanilla fashion ever. Now, here we go. I made a Stargate. The Nexus is about to finish up, and here I'm sending my Adept to my to my base, essentially, towards the ramp, in expectation of the coming Reaper. And sure enough, he shows up, and unfortunately I don't manage to kill him because I didn't position my Adept perfectly. I could have killed it, but I didn't. It was my first game of the day. I made some ascertainable mistakes. It wasn't ideal, but again, it was my first game of the day, so we're just gonna roll with the punches, and that Reaper is gonna do some damage later on, which is completely unjustifiable, or at least was completely unjustifiable at the time. But I made some mistakes. Yeah, my control wasn't particularly good. How many kills did he get in the end? Like, I lost mining time here. He confused me. He delayed my build slightly. Yeah, that was too much damage. Like, he had absolutely no right to do this much damage. But and my second Adept was late, which I think was the cause of all problems here. Anyway, my build wasn't airtight. Okay, it was not at all airtight, but it was good enough for what it was. Now, I'm gonna try to catch out the Reaper. I'm gonna try to hide the Oracle from the Reaper, because if he sees it, he may be able to amass some units and position them near his mineral lines, which is not ideal. You always want to hide your Oracle, especially your first one. And so he comes back with the Reaper, something Terran players usually do not do, which confused me a little bit. And so my Adepts were so badly positioned. I think he got a few more kills there, but that's all the damage he did with that particular Reaper, I think. And now I'm gonna do some damage to him. Hit back, because that's what you do when you're being hit. You roll with the punches, and then once you recover, you hit back. Now, the Oracle is going to do some damage, clearly, and then I see the Liberator, and I'm like, he's going to go for a double prone attack. That's nice, because I see the tanks and the Marines, I'm like, okay, he's going to harass me with the Liberator and attack me from the center with those tanks and the Marines, which is... I basically knew what was happening at this point. I did not have enough units or static defense to deal with this push, but I did have a single Void Ray and a couple of Adepts. And I decided to keep the Oracle on his side of the map just in case. Because if I know Diamond Terran players, I think I know how they function on a most fundamental level, especially the pissed off Diamond Leaguers. And so I thought he was going to commit absolutely everything to this push and leave nothing at home. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And yeah, that's basically what happened. And here I was like, I can chase those workers, but I have no idea what you have down the ramp. And there we go. This was the push, and he did not have enough. I had plenty of batteries, battery overcharge, voiders, and that's all she wrote. Anyway, that was the end of the game. I won for a change.